Do we attack face or do we attack the enemy units? Have you ever thought of these questions? What will be better or worse? Well, in this video, you'll find the answer. All right, so face or trade. Let's go ahead and talk about the benefits of both of them. So both going face and or trading a unit or killing a unit can and most likely will provide favor. So let's go ahead and talk about favor. So the beginning rule with favor is at the start of the game, you start off with 0 favor. Next, favor actions reward favor. So what are favor actions? Favor actions, you more or less have 2 to 3 favor actions that could provide favor. Hitting an opponent's god or going face provides favor. Destroying an enemy creature, either out of combat with a spell or using a relic to destroy a creature, will provide favor. And then this third bullet point is one of the most important ones, but in combat, so using your own creature to destroy an enemy creature while your creature survives will provide favor. If both creatures die, no favor occurs. So it's important to know what favor actions are. Then last but not least, there's a minor rule set with favor action rewards. So if it's your turn 1, favor action will only provide 1 favor. When it's your second turn, favor actions will provide 2 favor. And then on turn 3 and onwards, you'll always receive 3 favor per favor action. So on turn 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. until the game is done, you'll receive 3 favor. And the reason why I bring this up is because during game, you'll want to see if you could utilize favor. Favor is useful for the sanctuary, and the sanctuary can help you with earning cards and getting card advantage and or to solve a problem. So sometimes it might be better to go face to get a card out of the sanctuary than using that card to destroy a minion rather than attacking the minion, both creatures die, and then you move on forward. So this is one of the things that going face and or trading both benefit towards. That's with favor. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next part. The next thing you want to know about trading and or going face is you want to know your own deck and your opponent's. Your deck, whether it's aggro, mid-range, control, you want to know what you need to do to win. Plain and simple, you know how your deck functions. And for your opponent, you'll need to know your opponent's deck and or your opponent's win condition. If they're playing nature, they're going to be playing a lot of units and wanting to control the board state and keep their units alive. Same with light. They have a lot of healing and a lot of debuffs. So they'll probably have spells that debuff your own units and heal their own units. While magic will have a lot of spells and little units. So you'll want to know these things as you play, because later on in this video I'll show some examples. I go up against a deception player and you can tell how right from the get-go I understand what the game is and what we're doing. And it really helps with trades and maintaining your own win condition. So always make sure you know your deck and your opponent's. It doesn't matter what they're playing or anything. You just got to figure it out as you start playing. And just look at their god power, look at the minions or spells that they're using, and that'll help you determine what they're playing. So now on to the next part. Oh, so I want to mention this one last moment before we go into the final stretch of the video. There will always become a time in game where you have to shift from maintaining board control or whatever to try to win the game there and then. So for example, if your opponent is at, let's say, 15 health, but you could all of a sudden get to your opponent to, let's say, 5 health or 4 health, there your opponent is in a position where they have to survive. So if there ever comes a point in time in your game where your opponent is in survival mode, they're going to be doing what they need to do necessary to survive rather than win. And that could mean they have to take poor trades, they have to use up a lot of their favor for removal cards, or they have to do other stuff. And when you get to that point, typically just going face is the goal. If you have cards that have that little extra reach, aka a card that is hidden with flanking, or cards with flanking, just something to avoid frontline or a desperate attempt to stay alive, that'll always benefit you. But keep that in mind, and it's just good to know when to go trade or face, and that'll only happen as you play. You'll just get a sense on when you gotta shift gears to go from maintaining control to winning. I'm sure you can notice yourself if you're in survival mode where you have to do trades that you do not want. So yeah, on to the next part. All right, so the next part, I'm gonna go ahead and just commentate this next gameplay video that you're just gonna watch. I'll go ahead and express why I do the trades that I do. I did do some misplays, but that's okay. The game is sped up just for convenience, so don't mind that or why it's a little bit odd. But we're playing my normal standard nature deck that I use for ranking. Again, I'm fairly new to the game, so I don't have any fancy cards. They're all just from Welcome and Core. Um, and we pick up Forge just to get draws. So later on, we get some sort of card advantage just to generate cards and things like that. The start of the game, we tried a mulligan, but we did pretty poor. So the top deck and the draw, I was pretty happy with and pretty lucky getting that. Um, and right here, here's our first interaction of combat. They went ahead and traded into my swamp warden. I don't know. I just call him Broccoli Man. And that doesn't do anything. So next, I go ahead and just hit face, and as you notice, we can see the favor. Favor, I have 3 and he has 0, and now he can't kill my broccoli unit until he hits again and uses his god power. And the god power now locks him up from playing any other card, while I have a 5/5 that could do whatever. So as you can tell, his trades, him trying to get rid of my broccoli unit, did not benefit him by any means until now, really. And him using the hero power locked him up from doing any play. So I got another free hit with my 5/5. Now, as you can tell, he's setting up the board, and now we're starting to get into trades. So I'm just kind of evaluating what we have, what we need. Right now in my hand, I have a ton of big units, so I just gotta use them. I'm thinking of what trades I could do, what trades I should do. Um, and with the limited capability of what I got, we'll just do it. With confusion, it just hit the unit, which I'm okay with, because if they use their god power again, they're going to be left at 3 mana, and there's no good 3 units in the game, so we're pretty good. As you can tell, they used the 4-drop to kind of keep their momentum, but I still have my 5 strength unit, so my momentum is still carrying forward. They go face. because they can't trade into anything efficiently. And that was good for them to go face. There's no reason for that unit to hit anything of mine. So here, now I could either continue maintaining the board state, but I'm gonna go ahead and play my lower units, just to keep them. Here I was debating on killing the unit or not. I went ahead and killed it just to keep my other units alive, because at 1 health, Deception will either have to have a spell, or they have to use their God Power, and if they use their God Power, it puts them at 3 mana again. And as you can tell, that 3 mana drop that they did play is probably the best 3 mana drop for welcome and core players only, aka free to play. Right here, I do a terrible misplay. I'm very bad at math, so just not thinking, I went ahead and did something dumb. But this is a good example. As you can tell, the trades, no favor occurred. Well, where if those units did hit face, I would have gone 6 favor. So, and 6 favors almost, it's half of a 12 favor card. So it is somewhat of a big deal. I went ahead and just threw the 5/5 because it keeps momentum going. They get a very easy trade. I mean, I heavily misplayed there. If I didn't do what I did, I would have healthy units, and that 1/3/4 essentially did what 3, 6, 9 damage just on one unit because I hit into it. Pretty poor overall on my part. But again, we're here. We are where we are. Everything's hidden. I have to go face, so there's nothing I can do. But I finally look into my sanctuary, and I'm debating on getting this Untamed Regrowth just to mess up my opponent. I don't really have anything cool to play, so I go ahead and just use it, and it refreshes mana, so it makes it easy for me to just play a card. And so I just play the thing with Frontline just to force him to use the 3/1 and destroy it. I did misplay again there. I could have used my God Power, then used the Confusion spell, which then would give me a 5, and then play the 5 unit. But it's alright, there's always room for improvement. And right now, confused units will always go after frontline units first. If there's multiple frontline units, then it'll do the confusion effect. But right now, any unit will hit that one. Because of the spell that they played, it never generated any momentum for them. They played a 1/2 kill one of the puppies, which doesn't matter at all. But it did gain them favor. But right now, everything in the sanctuary doesn't matter too much. Now at this point, I'm determined to kill the 4/4. The reason why I want to get rid of it is because it can be a problem overall, just against nature, because I need to maintain the board state. Like, I, by all means, with nature and having units, I have to maintain board state. If I don't, the deck starts to struggle, and I'm fighting an uphill battle. So as you can tell, I try to make the cow hit the 4/4, but it didn't go through due to the confusion. So I went through a little different route. And here we are. The board is still pretty good, but I want to keep my unit alive. And right here, them playing the 7 unit, I have my 7 drop, and I could go ahead and win the game. So as you can see, I win the game. I use confusion to my advantage by forcing it to hit the front line, because I didn't want it to potentially hit the 1/2 unit. That'd be bad and would have cost me the game. So we just do the safer play, or the correct play, and just win the game. But that's how the trading worked. That's how we used favor to help us, and we could have potentially stolen cards from the sanctuary from our opponents, if need be. So yeah. All right, thank you everyone. That will conclude my video. Feel free to like, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and stay tuned for the next one. Any questions, feel free to comment below or contact me on Discord in the game Gods Unchained Discord server. You'll see me floating around. But thank you so much and have a good one.